Hi, everyone, and welcome. It's time for Self Scout, presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers. Eagles insider Dave Spadaro with the Hall of Famer Brian Westbrook, and we're talking about the Eagles' win in London against the Jacksonville Jaguars. An offense, Brian, that, man, started in a hole. 2 giveaways, first 2 possessions. But the fact that they came out of it shows me a lot, tells me a lot about the mentality and, frankly, the talent of this Eagles offense.
Well, I think it tells you a lot about the coaching. They're obviously hearing what the coach has to say. Of course, you want to start fast and finish strong. There are times in games where you don't start fast. Yesterday was a great example where we didn't start in the ideal fashion, but we have the ability to get out of that hole. We're led by a pretty good coach. We're led by a good quarterback that ended up having a pretty good game.
Isn't this quarterback a great quarterback? He's posted 4 straight passer ratings of 110 plus. Only 2 quarterbacks in history of the game have done that. And I hear it from people. Well, Carson needs to do this. Carson needs to do ball security, throwing. Yeah. The sack wasn't on him.
No.
The interception, great play by Jalen Ramsey. He's only got 2 interceptions. Why do people think that Carson needs to do more? Does he need to do more?
Well, I think that he's doing a lot. I think that they understand the talent level around Carson. They've had up and down years with talent as far as a wide receiver and running back and offensive line. But they also understand what's going on around the league. They're seeing Patrick Mahomes and throwing touchdowns every single week. They're seeing Andrew Luck throwing 4 or 5 touchdowns every week. Of course, you know what Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees and those guys are doing. And we want to have that type of quarterback. And in my belief, Carson is that type of quarterback. He is the type of quarterback that can get on the edge and throw a strike. And I'm talking about an arrow to Dallas Goedert in the middle of the field. He made some of those plays yesterday that you can obviously see the talent level, his ability to affect the football game. And I think all fans want him to get closer and closer and closer if he's not already to that point now.
How much of a factor in this Eagles offense, which is averaging just over 22 points a game, not to the standards of the high-scoring NFL, no doubt about it. But the offensive line changed 3 times on Sunday with
crazy.
Kelsey went out for a series, and then the tackles are out. So that has to play a part in this whole thing. To me, that's the whole reason that this offense isn't at the level of last year.
It's simple, and this goes back to my days with Andy Reid. If you want to win, you want to be a dominant football team, you have to win in the trenches. And right now, it's just hard to win consistently in the trenches just because there's so much turnover. Jason Peters is gutting it out. He's doing everything he can to play. He's still injured. Lane Johnson goes out injured. You have different guys playing different positions. The continuity, that's the big part of the front, having continuity, playing together. And right now, we just don't have that because of injuries and things like that. And so it's just going to take some time. But again, this is why it's so important to have a quarterback like we have in Carson Wentz that has the ability to affect the game in so many different ways. Yesterday, I saw Carson, the healthiest game that he's played, his ability to get outside the pocket, his pocket awareness, his ability to use his legs, get on the edge, set his feet, and throw the ball down the field. I was very impressed by our quarterback.
You know, Brian, the trade deadline is Tuesday at 4 p.m., and we know what you're talking about and what radio is talking about and what the speculation out there. Will the Eagles acquire help for this offense? Let's talk about this group, the running back group, which on Sunday, 133 yards. And let me talk about a rookie by the name of Josh Adams, undrafted out of Notre Dame, made the roster kind of as a surprise, and has played his way up in the rotation to the point where on Sunday he's the one taking the key carries in the 4th quarter. 9 carries, 61 yards, 6'2", 225 pounds, built by the numbers like Ricky Waters, but not the same kind of back. Your scouting report on Josh Adams.
Well, I saw Josh yesterday, big back. He's not a power back, but he has pretty decent speed, pretty decent footwork. I think yesterday he did a great job of getting to the edge. Wherever those holes were at, he got to those holes and used his quickness once he got there. I certainly would describe him as a one-cut type of running back. He's not a shifty guy that's going to make you miss in the hole. He will run you over in the hole. That's something that he has to continue to develop. And over time, when he gets more reps, when he gets more opportunities, he'll get in a better flow of the game. And listen, yesterday was just the beginning for Josh. I think over time, he'll become a better back.
Brian, if the Eagles don't make a deal and they have Adams and Corey and Wendell and Darren Sproles, we think will come back after the bye week, is that enough to go through the final 8 games and hopefully the postseason?
Well, it just depends. I think certainly a lot depends on the offensive line and their play, but also depends on how much use are you going to use for a back? Do you have the need for, let's just throw out a name, Le'Veon Bell, LaShawn McCoy, a back that you're going to give 20, 25 touches too. Do you have a need for that? Or are you going to depend a little bit more on your quarterback to run things? And I think when you're at this point in the season, you see how teams are scoring the football, protecting your quarterback maybe with some different pieces on the outside, in my opinion, probably is a better position for this football team because you want that ball in Carson Wentz's hands 35, 40 times a game. So you need guys to throw the ball to.
All right, let's shift over to the receiving core. Now, the tight ends have been dynamic all season. Zach Ertz having a Pro Bowl season. Dallas Goedert, 18 catches at the break. He's got a touchdown to his credit from Sunday in London. What about the wide receivers? Great matchup. Alshon Jeffrey targeted 5 times, 4 completions, working against Jalen Ramsey. And they really tried to get the ball, I thought, to Nelson Aguilar down the field. Had a couple of openings there, just couldn't connect.
Yeah, I just think that Carson continues to deliver the ball down the field. Our receivers are in a good position. I think Alshon comes back more physical, healthier this year than he was all year last year. A little bit better speed, seems a little bit more using his quickness just a bit and his size. Yesterday, obviously, Jalen Ramsey is one of the best DBs in the game, so it's a tough matchup there. I think Dallas Goedert certainly could come on even more. We can get him 7, 8 targets every single game. He's a guy that's going to catch the football. We know what Zach Ertz is. He's a mismatch, whether it's a cornerback, a linebacker, or a safety. We're going to find a way to get the ball to Zach Ertz. The one thing I think we're missing is the role that Mike Wallace played, the guy that's going to take the top off the defense and present that deep threat that everybody is really wanting for. And when you get that threat, of course, you get the deep ball, but all those guys underneath that I mentioned before, Alshon and the tight ends, everyone else, Nelson, that takes a lot of pressure off of them, and then they get open a little bit easier. So if we're ever going to look for anybody, is a deep threat that can make an impact on the game, that's going to catch the football down the field, or even take a guy that can take a 10-yard route and turn it into a 70-yard route. We would love always, and this is not just this year, but every season you want to try to get a guy like that.
A little love also for Jordan Matthews, 4 catches, 4
Huge,
first downs.
huge.
And he's really made a nice impact here in a role,
Yeah.
which seems to be third down, go to, connect with Carson, get to the sticks.
Well, to me, he's not the first read. He's not the second read. Carson has gone through his progression, and Jordan is finding space. And what I saw yesterday from Jordan, we've seen this throughout his career. Big hands, big body. He goes up and snatches the ball out of the air. I like his physical nature as far as attacking the football. That was what I was impressed with him yesterday.
All right, 8 games in, Brian. Final thing here on the offense. How would you describe the state of the Eagles' offense, and then what needs to happen moving forward?
I think as a team, offensively, we're getting better. Carson is getting healthier. That's a big part of our offensive game, making sure that Carson is healthy. I think as these next couple weeks with the bye week come about, we have to find a way to secure that offensive line, get some type of calming force, get some guys healthy, get some guys back and understand their position there. So that will get some continuity with that offensive line. Then you got to figure out what's going on with the running backs. Do you want to give Josh Adams more carries? Corey Clement, can he get healthy, make sure that he's ready to play? And then Wendell Small, would see where all those pieces fit in together. If you can get Darren Sproles back, that certainly gives you a third down option that will help this offense go as well. And so there are some pieces, if there's a trade, who knows, but there are some pieces that need to be settled down. This is what the bye week is all about. Self-scouting, understanding what you are and what you need to do moving forward.
Yeah, with the Dallas Cowboys waiting a couple of Sundays from now, the NFC East picture will get very interesting. Carson Wentz, by the way, 13 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions in 6 games. I know that we are expecting perfection from him. He's been pretty good. Coming off an ACL, extremely impressive.
Yes, very good.
That is our Self-Scout presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers. For Brian Westbrook, I'm Dave Spadaro. Thanks for joining us.